Hello everyone, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator and welcome to a very cloudy Luton Airport. Today we're going to be doing one of the first full flights I've done on Microsoft Flight Simulator on the channel, and we're going to be taking the fly-by-wire A320neo in the EasyJet livery from London Luton Airport to Zurich International Airport. So yeah, let's head into it. So we're actually going to be starting off this video in a bit of a different way. We're going to be starting off on SimBrief, where we're going to be starting to plan the flight. So our airline code is EZY for EasyJet, and our flight number is 282. We're going to be departing from London Luton Airport, which is Echo Golf Golf Whiskey, and we're going to be arriving at Zurich Airport, which is Lima Sierra Zulu Hotel. Our alternate's going to come in automatically, which I believe is Milan, and takeoff date, takeoff time, that's all fine. Aircraft type, A320neo. I'm going to leave all of this stuff, the climb profile, cruise profile, descent profile and fuel factor, we'll leave these. Our registration is G-UZHA. We'll leave the FIN number and we'll leave the cell code, and our ATC call sign is EZY282. So these are going to be our flight times. 140, about 1 hour 40 flight time. We're going to be departing off runway 25 and we're going to be arriving on runway 34, and I'm going to change that there. Our taxi out and taxi in, we'll leave that. Extra fuel, we're not going to have any. Our altitude, we'll leave that as it is. Passengers and cargo, auto. Zero fuel weight, auto. Dispatcher name, captain name, pilot ID, that's all fine. So it's given us this route here, which it comes around the side of London, so we'll pass close enough to Heathrow. We'll probably see it if it's not too cloudy. Come down to Paris, then come across all the way over to Zurich, over Basel. So that should be quite good, quite scenic, and yeah. So we'll go ahead and we'll generate the OFP. Yes, and then just wait for it to load. It shouldn't take more than a few seconds, just while it builds everything. And there we go. So it's got all of our information here: flight number, aircraft, origin, destination. Got all of our flight maps here. Got our actual flight plan itself, the PDF, which we can view in this menu here. And that's what we're going to be using today when we're doing our flight. So let's head back to the sim and let's get started. Okay, so we're here in the aircraft. It's cold and dark. We're going to be starting everything up. We're going to be going through everything, and yeah, we'll get the aircraft fully set up. So we'll start off at the overhead panel. We'll get the external power on. That's fine, and we'll get our nav and logo lights on. Now, the next thing we'll do, we'll get our batteries on, get our fuel pumps on, get our crew supply of oxygen on, and get the ADIRS aligned. Get the emergency light set to armed. We'll turn on the no smoking light. And that's kind of the overhead panel sorted for now. We're not going to turn on the APU just yet. We'll come back to that shortly. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here to our EFB, get that started up now. And then what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to start up, get everything linked. So what I'm going to do is, because I've just used SimBrief, I'm going to load my flight plan from SimBrief. So if you click that, it should take a few seconds to load, and then everything should come. Here we go. Echo Golf Golf Whiskey to Lima Sierra Zulu Hotel. And it's got all of our stuff, including our flight number, aircraft type, aircraft type and aircraft registration. Got our zero fuel weight, our cruise level, our cost index, the average wind, our alternate, and it's got weather data for Luton and Zurich. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check out our fuel. So we are currently on 9,000 kilograms of fuel, which we don't need. We only need about 7,000 kilograms of fuel. So we'll put in about 7,000. Yeah, we'll put in 7.2. We'll make that instant, and we'll just quickly defuel it. That's fine. So we're a bit lighter than we were before, which is fine. Our OFP. So this is exactly what we had on the other screen. So we'll be able to use this for our information. Now let's head down to our FMC and get working on that. So once we come down here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to link it to SimBrief. Just makes it a bit easier for us. So if we go to the ASUS page and we go to the AOC menu, we can then go to the init page and init data request, and it should bring all of our stuff here. We've got our departure, our arrival, our flight number, and that's all fine for now. We can also go to the performance, weight and balance, and that's all fine, that's all in for us. ATIS, we can request ATIS for an airport for our arrival and our departure, and we can request weather for any of the airports we need, but that's fine, we don't really need that because it's all on here anyway. So now let's head back to the main FMC. So we'll go to MCDO menu and the FMGC. So here's all of our aircraft information. All we know is that we're on the correct nav data and we've got the correct engine type. So now let's go to the init page and request it. So this should input all of our data, such as our flight number, our alternate, our actual route itself, our cost index, our cruise and flight level, and we'll just make sure our IRSs are aligned properly. That's all fine. Now we'll go on to the fuel page, we'll double click this and it'll automatically put in our 0 fuel weight, and if we go to fuel planning, it'll put in our block fuel automatically, which we can confirm. Now if we go to our flight plan page, it should have everything on here past our SID. So from CPT, which is where our SID finishes, so here we go, we finish here at CPT. It's got all of our airways and all of our waypoints already put in for us, so that's nice and useful. But we need to come back up here and we need to put in our SID, which is, if I'm correct, runway 25 on CPT for Bravo. So runway 25 and CPT for Bravo. With no transition, we'll insert that. That's fine, so it should take us all the way up to CPT. That's fine. Now if we come down to our approach into Zurich, click Zurich, our arrival, we're arriving on runway 34 on the BLM2 Golf arrival with no transition. So we'll go ILS 34 on the BLM2 Golf arrival. No approach vias, no transitions. Oh, sorry, I accidentally clicked off that. So ILS 34, no star. Wait, why have I clicked no star? BLM2 Golf, no vias. That's what I meant to do. Then insert that. That's fine. So once we hit BLM, we should have a few more waypoints. That's all good. Now we can check that, make sure if it's right once the IRSs are aligned, which will take about 5 minutes. So while that's happening, we can input some of our other stuff, like our performance data. So we are going to be with flaps 1, and we'll go and check out our flex temps. I'll show you the website I use for that and the calculator, and let's head over there. Okay, so this is the calculator we have here. So our aircraft is the A320, even though we know it's the A320neo, the performance is, for engine power, it's almost the same. So our airport is Echo Golf Golf Whiskey, which is Luton. We're going to be on runway 25. The condition is dry. Our outside temperature, which I'll just check now in the flight sim. Let's go ahead, check over here. Our outside temperature is 19 degrees Celsius, our dew point is 14 degrees Celsius, but our outside temperature is, sorry, was that 19 or 14? 19. I was getting confused then. 19 degrees Celsius. Our takeoff weight in kilograms, that is going to be our 0 fuel weight, 63.3, paired with our fuel, which is 63.3 plus 7,000, so about 70,000. So we'll put in 7,200, so that's 7.2 plus 63.3, so that is 70.5. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having 70,500. Packs are going to be on, flat config 1, and we'll calculate that. So our flex temperature is going to be 43, and our V speeds are going to be 138, 143, and 146. So let's head into the sim and put them in. So our flex temperature is 43, our V1 is 138, our V2 is 143, and oh sorry, our rotate is 143, and our V2 is 146. Put that in there. head to the next phase, which you don't really need to do because that's all in for us. Now our flight level is going to be flight level 230, so we'll put that in automatically, and then the autopilot will climb through VNav with the flight plan. Now we can check to make sure the flight plan's done in a minute. We'll put this onto plan, and let's go ahead and check this out. So flight plan. Now if we just start scrolling through, we'll go through all of the waypoints. Our takeoff's fine, that's just showing us going around London. Now this comes down to about Resmi here, where this is where we'll reach Paris. Then we'll start coming across until we reach BLM, which is our star, which is here, and we'll come in, come back round, and then eventually we'll head into runway 34. Doing a little turn there, and that should be fine. So we'll head back up to Luton. So we'll put this back on arc, and our pressure is 1021, so we'll put this onto 1021. That's fine, and this is all fine for now. So we'll start the APU up. So master switch, APU bleed, and then APU starter. This should automatically switch to the APU page. The flap's open, and it should be starting up. There we go. CA's already coming on. And we have got some traffic today. We've got EasyY13. Have we got anything else around the airport? EasyY2367, which is over there. And then of course we've got some pretty dark clouds over there, which we want to try and avoid today. But we're going to probably be blasting straight through them. We're heading out over this way, so the clouds shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, we've got Wizz Air 4303 over there. These are all AI traffic. This is not live traffic. So let's head back into the aircraft. The APU is coming alive. And once this goes to green, that means the APU is providing power to the aircraft. So you can switch over from the external power. Because we're on our own power, we'll get the beacon light on. And we'll be ready for pushback in a minute. The tug's already coming, so we just actually want to make sure it's not trying to push us. So we'll call the tug. There we go, so it's coming now. And it's not going to push us back just yet, or is it just staying where it is? Or is it coming? Can't really tell. Don't know what it's doing now. There we go, so it's coming to attach, but we're not going to push back just yet. Now, I'm having a bit of an issue with Flight Sim where I don't actually have any stairs. I don't really know where the stairs are, so I can't really... I can't request passengers, I can't even request stairs, so it's a bit weird. And there's no jetways here at Luton, so it's not like I can connect to one of them. Right, so let's call the tug. We'll give it a second and then we'll push us back. Everything fine up here. We'll get the seatbelt signs on. Call the cabin. And then normally you do an announcement like, please be seated for departure. We'll be pushing back momentarily. Stuff like that. Maybe give some information on the flight. And yeah, that's about fine. So, I think we're ready to push back. So what we're going to do, we're going to get the parking brake off. Normally we'd be contacting ATC, but we're offline, so we're not going to be using ATC today. And let's start pushing back. Where's the tug come? Oh, it's not working. There we go. Cool tug. There we go. Now it's oh no, it's not connected anymore. Don't know why it's doing that. My flight sim seems to have stopped working. There we go. Okay, so now I think we've got the tug working properly. So the brakes are released, so it should just push us back when it's ready. It should just snap on in a second. The weather isn't looking too great, but luckily it's not actually raining, so that's fine for us. Now, while it's pushing back, I'm not going to turn on the... I could turn on the engines while we're pushing back. I need to focus a bit more on the pushback, because it's a bit harder in this sim. Because normally like P3D or FSX, when you were using GSX and their pushback method, it would just push you back over there. Okay, there we go, now it's working. So there we go, we're pushing backwards. Now I need to manually control when it turns, so I'm probably not going to get it right on, because it's a bit temperamental. Okay, so we'll get the engine started up, so switch on the ignition starter and get Master 2 going. And that's firing up. Once the tail reaches this line, we'll start to turn. Oh no, stop pushing us back already. Pull this hub back. Will I come back? Yeah, it will. So, let's see, is the engine starting up fine? The engine's starting up absolutely fine. Our throttles are at idle. Are we pushing back? Yes, we are. Oh, without the tug. Okay, we'll turn our tail. Ah, see, that's being a bit weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Tug's not there. It's pushing us. Just a bit further away from us. Teething issues of a new flight sim. So I think I did it a bit too late then, so that's fine. We'll just stop push back about here, so we'll pull it back a bit straight, and we'll stop push back here. And we can go all the way to the tug, put the parking brake on, and we can start up engine 1. So while that's starting up, we can just make sure all of our overhead panels in order. We'll get the taxi light to the nose. We'll wait till the engine 1 has fully started up before we turn off the APU. We'll get the auto brakes on max for departure, get the flaps to 1, ground spoilers, set them for takeoff, and this is firing up nicely. Got it speeding up on the outside. And both engines seem to be firing up well. Oh look, we've got EasyY2366. Could be coming in for a rival here. Okay, we'll wait till this is fine. Wait till this is fully started up. Once it says available, that means we can turn off the APU. So we'll give that a second. The green box should come on top of about 19. There we go, available. Get the master switch and the APU bleed off. Set the engine starter to normal. And we are ready to go. So, what we'll do, get the parking brake off, centre ourselves, and let's get going. So we're taking off from runway 25, which is off to the left here. So this area I'm in anyway is a one-way area, and we've still got a tug. Why have we still got a tug? Why have we still got a tow truck attached? That's a bit weird. Okay. Is that going? Is it just gonna sit there? I'm so confused. There we go. It seems to be leaving us eventually. It's going off to the left so we can taxi. Yeah, it's going off. Okay, so we'll put a bit of power in. Now we should be able to turn now that we've not got a tug attached to us. So we'll turn right here. Just make sure both sides are clear. Now, because this is all one way, there's a parallel taxiway here. So if something's coming down the other side, you can go onto this left side here. I had to do that a few days ago when I was flying to Gibraltar from Luton. We had another A320 coming down this way, so I moved on to the parallel taxiway. So at the end here, we're just going to be turning left, and then we'll follow that taxiway all the way down to the end. And then what we'll need to do is we'll need to back taxi slightly, just to make sure we've got all the runway we can have. A bit bumpy down here at the end. It's turned. I don't know why that was so bumpy back there. Maybe it's just uneven. So it's just a long little taxi down to the end here. Okay, so now we're just reaching the runway here. So we'll bring it round and we'll stop at the hold short point. Here we go, bringing it round. Stop at the line. Now if we were online and using ATC, this is where we would contact ATC requesting departure. So I'll just set the parking brake down there. So what we're going to do now, we're going to be taking off here, so we'll get the landing lights on, get the nose lights to take off, get the strobe light on, we'll leave the runway turn off lights and the wing lights at the moment, and yeah, so now we need TCAS TARA, let all traffic know we're tilted above anyway, so engine, and that's all fine. So parking brake released, and let's get out of London. So I'll put a bit of power, and then we're going to be turning left, we'll back taxi to the end, turn around, and then blast off. Okay, so we'll bring this around nice and slow. The brakes on this aircraft I find are a bit annoying because they take, it's almost like they're delayed in every way. So it takes a while for it to register, like it takes a couple of seconds of holding it down for it to register, and then you hold it down and then you let go of it and then it continues to hold down for a bit longer, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. It just means that sometimes I end up making full stops when I don't mean to make full stops. Right, put it off to the right, put a little bit of brake in. And then we'll bring it round, a bit more power in, just to make sure we don't fully stop. Because again, those brakes get a bit of a pain. Okay. Oh, nice. That was actually quite a good lineup. Okay, so we'll start the stopwatch. Is that going? It is. And let's go. So 50% power. And flex. The auto throttles turn on automatically. It's fine. 80 knots. V1, rotate. And we're up, positive climb, gear up. There goes Luton, and then it's a straight left out of here, following our waypoints. Turn up the brightness on the navigation display there just so we can see it a bit better, same with the PFD. And we can do the same with the E-cams as well. Turn up the brightness on them a bit, just so we can see them a bit better. So we're going to have to start heading through the clouds soon, so let's go with automatic climb. We're still on manual control at the moment. I'll probably stay on manual control till we get to about about 5,000 feet. So we'll get the flaps up, get the power back to climb, which at the moment is just a little bit of a derate from flex, so nothing too major. Still going to be gaining speed. Right turn. I'm going to start heading through the clouds soon. Well, actually, right now, I'm heading through the clouds. So goodbye, Britain. That's fine with about 5,000 feet. So we're going to all engage autopilot 1, which should just take over for us. That's fine. Now, while we're doing that, we can do some calculations. So, down here, if we go to the calculator, we'll do our top of descent and we'll do our landings. So, we'll leave the ground speed input because we'll sync that when we're at cruise, and our cruise altitude is going to be 2,300 feet, or 23,000 feet, sorry. And we need to descend to, our initial descent is going to go down to 7,000 feet. So we'll put in target altitude of 7,000. So we need to start our descent about 50 nautical miles before the target with an angle of -3 degrees. I don't 100% know what the speed is going to be, but when it's further up, it'll probably be further, and we'll come back to that. Our airport ICAO, which is Lima Sierra Zulu Hotel, Zurich Airport. The wind direction of Zurich Airport is, well, it's 260 at 7 knots, so 260 at 7 knots. The temperature is 28 degrees. Our QNH is 1024. 1024. Our runway altitude, that'll be on our OFP, which is down here. Might need to scroll down a bit far for this. I may have already gone past it. Normally I just check on my Navigraph charts. Oh well, I can put them in shortly. I can do that while we're cruising. Runway conditions going to be dry, runway slow, runway ODA, we'll need that automatically. Approach speed, we'll get that when we get closer, and our weight should be automatic. Flaps, full. Overweight procedures, no. Reverse thrust, yes. So we'll calculate that already. We're going to be using mostly max manual anyway, but that's fine. So we've got our top of descent calculation done, and our landing calculation roughly done. So now we can just leave it to cruise, and I'll be back when we start approaching Zurich. Okay, so we're back and we're on approach into Zurich. We've done some descending already. We're at 12,000 feet. We're about to make a bit of a sharp left turn over to Ameki. And after that, what's going to happen is we're going to, if I get this right, we're going to come back round, go back towards the airport, then turn, and then come back again and land. So it's still a while, I'll say still another 5 to 10 minutes to go before landing, maybe 5. Yeah, it shouldn't be long at all. So we'll get this back down again. Only 10 miles, now we'll go 40 miles. So after Ameki, we'll probably oh no, we wait till Songi and then we'll go down to 8,000 feet from there, then to 7,000 feet, and then we'll hold that until Utixo, which is there, I believe, and then we'll go down to 6,000, and then we'll follow it round down to the runway. That's when we'll activate approach mode, and we'll come down. So there's a plane in front of us, about 40 miles plus 2,000 feet. I wonder if I can see that. Not at the moment. Where's the airport? Down there, I think. I believe so. We flew over about 10 minutes ago. Not even 10 minutes ago, like 5 minutes ago. I'm really overestimating my timings here. But yeah, so that's descending. So I wonder if that's coming down with the same runway as us. And if I'll be able to see it. Let's zoom in a bit. Can't see anything anymore. I'll give that another minute or so, and then we'll take another look. So what else have we got to do? So we've done our landing calculations, done our descent calculate. Well, we're on our descent anyway, so that's fine. If we go into our charts here and we put in Zurich, let's take a look at our gates. So just so I know where we're taxiing from. Load. I really hope it does load. Try taxi charts. No. Okay, well, luckily we've managed to avoid some storms, because I believe this earlier was around here when we first took off, so it's obviously come across, so we managed to miss that. That's good. So now we're heading over to Songi, and by Songi we should be on still flight level 120. So then after that one we'll descend 2,000 feet for this waypoint, another 1,000 feet for this waypoint, and then we'll maintain 7,000 all the way down here. Now one thing I realised I didn't do during cruise was I didn't put my barometer onto standard. So what I should have done is when we were on cruise I should have pulled it, gone on standard. When you're above 18,000 feet it's on standard. So yeah, I should have done that around 18,000 feet. But I didn't. I forgot. I left it on 1021. So, but yeah, so 1024 for landing. I've put in all the landing information here. So landing performance: QNH 1024, temperature 29 degrees. Wind is 250 at 6 knots. Oh, that's 260 at 6 knots. Oops. 260 at 6. Fine. But yeah, so we've also got that. So that's the approach, and that's go around, but we don't need that. And yeah, so we're going to leave that there. We'll scroll down to here. Got about 10 miles to go until we reach Songi, or 12.3. So anything we need to do? Seatbelt signs are on for landing. We're not going to turn on the landing lights until we get below 10,000 feet, which we'll do after we reach Songi, because we need to go down 4,000 feet and about 10 miles, which is a lot to do and not a lot of. It's a lot of altitude to do and not a lot of time. So we'll have to see how that goes. Okay, so here we go. So we've hit Songy. So what we're going to do is we're going to start descending down to 8,000 feet. The autopilot will do that by itself. If you can start, yeah, so there's the airport over there. So our runway is across there, right at the back, and that's when we're going to be landing on. So give us a bit of a tight turn there. Considering we need to make another tight turn, it would have been easier just to do kind of like around and then back, but the autopilot's doing it itself. Okay, so we're coming about 11,000 feet now. We're going about minus 1,000 feet per minute. And then once we've done that, we'll go ahead and get the landing lights on. So I never knew about this camera scrolling system like this. What you've got to do is you've got to kind of push your camera forward to there, and then you're locked in camera selection mode. Didn't know you could do that. It's quite interesting. Yeah, so we are about 4.8 miles from ZH365, and we've still got another 2,500 feet to go. Just means we'll probably be descending past to 7,000 past this point, just because we'll need to catch up, because we're trying not to be too steep. Well, the aircraft is trying not to be too steep. Okay, so we're hitting about 10,000 feet now, so we'll go ahead and get our landing lights on. Let's see them on the outside. Is these two lamps here. If I put one of these off, it just turns it off, but then if I put it like that, it folds away. Like you can see, it's folding out, and then you can see it's now on. That's one of the cool things about the landing lights, is that they fold out underneath. So of course they do create drag, if it's like that. So what better to do than let them fold away. There's also a landing light in the nose gear, but we won't see that one until the nose is actually down. What else have we got on? We would have the logo lights on, which are these ones here and here. They shine up to the logo, but only when it's, but you can only really see when it's not. I don't know if they're on during the day, but you can only see them at night. Okay, so now we're heading back towards the airport, which is down there. We've got our landing lights on. We've got our seatbelt signs on. We're about 9,000 feet. So yeah, we're about 1,000 feet over target at the moment. There's a plane below us. Where is it? I want to know where it is. Here we go. Is it? It is. What is that? LSZH 491. Can't tell if that's an airliner or not. Probably get GPWS one. Oh no, they're 2,000 feet under us, so okay. This is a jet, is that? Looks like an A320. Yeah, that's an A320. Where's it gone? Oh, there. I want to say, well, there could be an A330 actually. It's interesting. Okay, the airport's fully inside now. Got all the terminals loaded in. Again, we're going to overshoot this by about 500 feet. Just the altitude mark. We're still fine on that. Okay, still got about 20 miles, just over 25 miles until we reach our turning point. So that'll be the next point at which we descend. And our landing, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having medium auto brakes, although, okay, we don't really need to set them yet, but we'll set them in a minute. We're going to be doing full reverse thrust. Actually, we'll go with low auto brake. We don't really need too much auto brake. One time, I saw someone a few weeks ago, they were recording a landing, and as soon as they touched down, they leaned down, pulled their reverse thrust and stuck the parking brake on. And so many people were just rinsing them in the comments saying, why have you put your parking brake on when you're landing? And it's like, just, you only need to put on the auto brake. The only problem I found so far with the auto brake is it doesn't automatically disengage itself. So like on the Aerosoft A320 back on P3D, when you press your brakes in, like your toe brakes or even put the parking brake on, it would disengage the auto brakes. But now when I land, when I finish slowing down, I need to press the button, otherwise it'll just continue braking for me, which is not what we want. What we do want though is we want to set 6,000 feet into here with automatic. Oh, we'll start going down for us, nice. Okay, so we've got, by the looks of it, a couple of aircraft on the approach as well. Not much on the ground. I've got no name tag showing up here or anywhere around here, so probably we're not going to. Oh look, there's EGGW 371, which is Edelweiss, I believe. It's getting a bit close. Makes me wonder if any of these are too close. Traffic is 2 o'clock, 4 miles at 7,000 feet. Okay. So we're at 6,000. Nearest airport road, Zurich. Request full stop. Make left traffic, runway 34. Edelweiss clear to land runway 34. Edelweiss 201. Oh, that's Edelweiss 201. So what's happening with Edelweiss 27? Oh no, this could oh, this could be getting interesting. Clear to land runway 34. Edelweiss. Altimeter 3024. That's what we're going for, isn't it? Right, 1024. That's gone under. 3024. Same thing. Okay, so we're at 6,000 feet at the moment. UTXO should be 6,000 feet, so we're fine with that. We'll stay at the altitude where we are, and then once we come round, we'll engage the approach mode. Okay, so Edelweiss 371 is going fast. So I'm not really too worried about that. We'll get some flaps in. We'll just get flaps 1 at the moment. We don't really need too much. Just trying to keep that nose a bit more level. We don't have to put as much power in, save ourselves some fuel, while maintaining the altitude. So, altitude's that trying to get us to go to 124. Surely not yet. No, not yet. Let's see what was going on. Anything new? Device 371. I'm sure they're going to turn soon. Although they're not even at turn. Oh. Is that them turning now? It is. So yeah, it looks like they're going to cut in just before us. So that's fine. Maybe I requested to land too early? I don't think I did. Well, I mean, if I'd have done it before Edelweiss 371, then I should probably be landing on it as well. They're 1,600 feet ahead, but they'll be coming down anyway. Okay, so we're almost on target at the moment. Flaps 2. We're going to leave that as it is for now, because we need to be at 6,000 feet, so. If anything, I think I'm a bit too low. Which, yeah, that's what it's saying now. It's saying I'm too low, I think. Let's see what this is saying. Is this got anything new for me? No, not yet. I think that's not just smears on the screen. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought there was a bit of glare there on the screen. No, I don't think there is. I thought it was storms, or I thought it was trying to tell me that there were storms. Right, flaps 3. Okay, so now we're on base. There's a runway over there. Not too far at all. Okay, so we're going to stay at 6,000 feet. Is that coming towards me? That is coming towards me, isn't it? This is what happens when you go on AI traffic. You start doing the most random things. Okay, so we're getting ready to make our final turn. Once we made that turn, we'll get the gear down, we'll get the approach mode activated. Runway is 333 degrees. And we're looking almost on target there. Let's see if there's anything new on the ATC. Edelweiss 201 go around. Clear to land, runway 34, number 2, Edelweiss 371. Okay, we'll leave this open. Just tighten up a little bit, just to that. Oh wait, never mind. Leave it like that. There we go. So, final turn, separate. And then when we do, we'll get the approach mode activated, which will make it a bit easier. We'll be able to do our manual landing. Sunset 949, 10x taxiway, Edelweiss 201. Did you hear my last transition? Is that 787? So why is it trying to overtake? This is trying to cut it in front of me. Fly Bulgaria 491. 34. Is that my landing? Or is that? It's a bit weird. Okay, so we're on our final turn now. So what we'll go ahead and do is we will get the gear down. We will get full flaps, and we'll activate approach mode. And now we'll disengage the autopilot. And let's get landing. Okay, so one thing that, see, I could land this just like this. All you've got to do is keep this yellow yellow box in the middle of the crosshair. Keep tracking it, and you should be fine. See, I can follow this for a few minutes and then look up and I'll be perfectly on track. So these diamonds tell you where you are as well. So what they tell you is this is your altitude, this is your position to the runway, and this is your speed. So this, if it's a bit low, if you're high above the diamond, shows how high you are. So if you're above the diamond, you're too high. If you're below the diamond, you're too low. Like this, I'm almost perfectly lined up for the runway. If it's a bit too far to the right, you need to come a bit more left. If it's too far to the left, you need to come a bit more right. Get the diamond into your crosshair. So and the easiest way to do that is follow the green cross. And then you'll be fine. So if I look up now, I'm still on final. I'm still on track for landing. And full flaps are in. Auto brake is on low. It's one of the longest. I think it's the longest runway at Zurich we're landing on. So 2,500. We don't need maximum or even really medium auto brake. See, we could just do low auto brake and keep that going until like near the end of the runway. But we'll put in a bit of reverse thrust, get us off the runway a bit quicker because it's quite a busy airport today. We've got a plane right behind us, so. EasyJet 1123, number 2 for landing. Follow the aircraft on final, wind 279 at 10, clear to land runway 34. Okay, so we're going to land. We've been cleared for landing. Just going to keep following this crosshair. Speed's going to manage itself, so we don't really need to worry about that. We don't need to worry about that in the last 100 feet. Okay, so final checks just before landing. All of our lights are on properly, our APU's off, gear is down, auto brakes are on low. We've got all of our electricals working fine. Got flaps full, ground spoilers aren't armed because we don't arm them for landing. Yeah, everything looks fine for landing, so we'll continue. So we're a bit low at the moment. Just by a tiny margin, nevertheless enough. Oh my god, what is this aircraft doing? It's about to be inside of me, what? Oh, the AI in this game are terrible. eDevice 250, why is it telling it eDevice 250? It's not even the aircraft, but it's going to overtake me and land in front of me as well. Clear to land runway 34. Number 3. What is it doing? No. Doesn't even look like they're going to land. ZB491. What are you doing? Okay. We're just following him. Here we go, nice and lined up. Got a bit of a crosswind coming in. That's fine. Got our nose heading into the wind, so it shouldn't be a problem. We'll see what gate it gives me as well.
1,000.
I wonder what aircraft that is. Is that actually landing? Yeah, so we're at 1,000 feet. We're a bit low, so we'll just pull up the nose a bit. Next time I think I might be turning off the AI. Here we go. Coming in on final.
Five hundred. 400. 300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
There we go. Nice landing. Why is it talking to go? Oh, because this is just absolutely stopped on the runway. So why is it done that for? I don't know why. Why is it done like that? Okay. Turn off the auto brakes. Get the reverse thrusters in. Get the spoilers in. And we can get the flaps on. See, I think next time we're definitely going to be turning on, or turning off the AI. Taxi to gate E45, yeah, taxiway E4, link 5, D, E4, E, link 5 and D. Okay. E45. Okay, that's fine. Let's bring it around to the right here. Got a squeaky rudder axis. Okay, so while I was just doing that, just gonna bring up my charts menu. Right, okay, charts. Zurich? Is it not showing up? Why is it not showing up? Okay. Gate E45. Let's bring up Navigraph then. Okay. Navigraph charts. Probably pop up on here. Yep. Okay, so Zurich charts airports. Try and find our parking stands. E45. We probably should have turned here. Info airport. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just bring it back. We'll just bring it back round when we need to. Okay, so we'll bring it round to the left. I think they're left again. Okay, we'll come left here. If the aircraft doesn't stop us by itself. Right, okay, and left here. Sim's starting to struggle a bit. Because we're at FS Dream Team Zurich. Great airport, but can be sometimes a bit heavy hitting on the frames, especially when you're trying to load in all those aircraft behind you. Sometimes freeze a bit. Oh wow, Swiss Air 39 coming in from San Francisco. Yeah. Oh wow, that's like a 747 kind of. Okay, and we'll bring it right here. Okay, that's fine. Got a typhoon ahead of us. Okay, so E45, let's see it. Let's bring up our charts again. Parking stands, E45, about halfway down. E55, 53, 51, E49, 47, so this one here should be E45. That's right. There we go. Okay, let's try okay, there we go. Get the brakes on and we'll get our ground power connected. We should have turned on the APU, but I knew ground power was going to be there, so get the engines off, get our taxi lights and landing lights off, and we'll get our logbook info. 1 hour 53 minutes, day flight, Gatwick to Zurich. That's fine. Not Gatwick, sorry, it's Luton. It's because it's EGGW. It makes me think London Gatwick. Okay, so the engine's coming off. There we go. The external power didn't come on for a second there. So now that's done, we will go ahead and see the engine just swoop down a bit. Go ahead and get the beacon light off. Sorry, some of these lights should have come off earlier, like the nose light should have gone down to taxi, and we should now just be on nav and logo. Okay, let's see if we can get not our flight assistant. That can go. We need ground services. Can we get? Is there a jetway connection? Why is there no jetways? There should be jetways there. I don't know why there's no jetways. Request jetway connection. Can't connect to the jetway. Okay, that's fine. Request a little baggage service. That's fine. So while we finish kind of shutting down the aircraft, so we'll get the dips off and get the seatbelt signs off. So when the passengers would go off, they'll be able to get off through there. Of course, this is a great model, honestly. Asobo did a great job, and I think Fly-by-Wire have done, I'd say, almost an even better job of making this aircraft as functional as it can be. We'll get the no smoking lights off, assuming that all passengers have gone. I think we were struggling so much to get the gate figured out, like where we were going to park, that I actually kind of missed out a few steps after landing. I should have turned the APU on. I should have got some of these lights off, and I should have turned this back on standby when I'd landed. Although some airports and some countries prefer you to keep it on until you get back to the gate, so I'll let myself off on this one just a little bit. Yeah, so I should definitely turn the APU on and got some of these lights off when we had come off the runway. But all in all, I think that was a pretty good flight. I think I did a semi-decent job. My baggage service, I would have hoped it'd be like taking the bags off, not putting them on. Wow, that aircraft, that's like a mix between an A380, a 747, and I don't know really. I can't really tell what that is. It's like it's got the nose of a 747, the body of an A380, the wings of a 747, but then like the engines of a 777. That is the most weirdly built aircraft I've ever seen. Is that going to pull in next to me? I hope it does, because I really want to take a better view at that. That's great. But yeah, so we made it to Zurich with no problems whatsoever. Not the best weather coming out of London, but some nice weather coming into Zurich, so that's nice. We've got all the mountains around us. Well, I guess it's more mountainous the further you get into the country, but it's still quite nice over here. Let's see if that aircraft does pull in next to me. Right, there goes the baggage service. No, it's pulling in over there. But still, that is one of the weirdest aircraft I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, so now we'll finish shutting down the aircraft. So we'll get our batteries off. We'll get our fuel pumps off. We'll get our cruise supply of oxygen off. And finally, once we're done, we'll get the nav and logo lights off. And we'll get off the external power. This aircraft is now back to cold and dark. It's how we started, or it's how we had it at the start of the video, although these probably should have been moved. But yeah, so the aircraft's now cold and dark. We stopped a bit early, but although the marshaller was stood there, so I wouldn't have really been able to see it. Maybe it's something I need to sort out with the config of this airport. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.